let's start with the debate. You and your team have said you had a bad night, but your friend Nancy Pelosi actually framed the question that I think is on the minds of millions of Americans. Was this a bad episode or the sign of a more serious condition?
It was a bad episode. No indication of any serious condition. I was exhausted. I didn't listen to my instincts in terms of preparing, and a bad night.
You say you were exhausted, and I know you said that before as well, but you came, and you did have a tough month, but you came home from Europe about 11 or 12 days before the debate, spent 6 days in Camp David. Why wasn't that enough rest time, enough recovery time?
Because I was sick. I was feeling terrible. Matter of fact, the docs with me, I asked them, they did a COVID test because they're trying to figure out what's wrong. They did a test to see whether or not I had some infection, a virus. I didn't. They just had a really bad cold.
And did you ever watch the debate afterwards?
I don't think I did, no.
Well, what I want to get at is, what were you experiencing as you were going through the debate? Did you know how badly it was going?
Yeah, look. The whole way I prepared, nobody's fault of mine. Nobody's fault of mine. I prepared what I usually would do, sitting down, as I did combatants, foreign leaders, or the National Security Council, for explicit detail. And I realized partway through that, although I get quoted, the New York Times had me down at 10 points before the debate, 9 now, or whatever the hell it is. The fact of the matter is that what I looked at is that he also lied 28 times. The way the debate ran, not my fault, nobody else's fault. No one else's.
But it seemed like you were having trouble from the first question in, even before he spoke.
Well, I just had a bad night. He does some bad interviews once in a while. I can't remember any. I'm sure you did.
I got plenty. I guess the problem is here for a lot of Americans watching. You said, going back to 2020, watch me. To people who are concerned about your age. And, 50 million Americans watched that debate. It seemed to confirm fears they already had.
Well, look, after that debate, I did 10 major events in a row, including till 2 o'clock in the morning after that debate. I did events in North Carolina. I did events in Georgia. Did events like this today. Large crowds, overwhelming response, no slipping. And so I just had a bad night. I don't know why.
And how quickly did it come to you that you were having that bad night?
Well, it came as I was having a bad night when I realized that even when I was answering the questions and they turned his mic off, he was still shouting. And I let it distract me. In fact, I'm not blaming on that. But I realized that I just wasn't in control.
Part of the other concern is that this seems to have fit into a pattern of decline that has been reported on recently. New York Times.
It's got 14 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, and a stack of 10. All right, does it have a room where you hide the bodies? Nothing good, that's what they did. I don't know why. If I see a nice house, I'm like, oh, that person worked really hard. But if I see a really nice house, I'm like, oh, that person's evil.
This is a really interesting and unique piece by an artist named Hank Willis Thomas. The piece is called Intentionally Left Black or White. You have to put your camera up, and the flash brings out the images that are in the work. This is a really interesting and unique piece by an artist named Hank Willis Thomas. The piece is called Intentionally Left Black or White. You you have to put your camera up, and the flash brings out the image.
Ever made over 350,000. Keep it speak Creole, bitch. I only speak my mind. If my music major depth, then bitch, my children major blind. Did it off one flow. Niggas used to double time. Yeah, I used to smart talk. Now I have to dumb it down. Training Rick and Zell, bitch. I'm blowing up the spot. I'm a City nigga, man. Y'all hoes must have forgot. I am not an emo rapper, and I ain't no fucking herb, nigga. Keep it speak Creole.
Alright, let me get some shit done. Just tapping in real quick this morning and see what the fuck is in here. I haven't let my damn breakfast sit so damn long. Oh, that's cool as fuck.
Had a headline on July 2nd, Biden's lapses are said to be increasingly common and worrisome. Here's what they wrote. People who have spent time with President Biden over the last few months or so said the lapses appear to have grown more frequent, more pronounced, and after Thursday's debate, more worrisome. By many accounts, as evidenced by video footage, observation, and interviews, Mr. Biden is not the same today as he was even when he took office 3.5 years ago. Similar reporting in the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal. Are you the same man today that you were when you took office 3.5 years ago?
In terms of successes, yes. I also was the guy who put together a peace plan for the Middle East that may come into fruition.
Hey,
I was also the guy that expanded NATO. I was also the guy that grew the economy. all the individual things are done. Or ideas I had or I fulfilled, I moved on.
Of course, that's an ex.
Yeah, Biden's not doing good. But I have I'm gonna give a private art lesson this morning. It's supposed to be from 10 until noon. So I've been up trying to like straighten up the house, and the house is normally like pretty squared away, but my studio is never fucking clean, you know. So I've really been trying to straighten up here this morning so that I'm not embarrassed when a strange person comes in my studio. It's mostly the hallway area is really just always fucking junky. I mean, in here is normally junky too, but I started like putting some stuff away, and I'm gonna put all my weed stuff away too, because my student is an older lady. I think she's like a grandma or something who used to be into art and hasn't done art for a while, but her daughter thinks, you know, it's time for her to have a hobby or something. So maybe if she takes a couple of hours of painting with me, it might spark her motivation to, you know, get back into being creative. So we'll see how that goes this morning. But she should be here at 10. Well, like I said, I've just been up like doing dumb shit, like just vacuuming, make sure all the trash is taken out, bathroom is clean, and really I just squared away that hallway because there was like crap everywhere, and I got a big trash can out in the hall too, and so I had to empty that trash can. And after I finish eating, I'm gonna vacuum in this room, which I probably vacuum this room right here maybe once a year, twice a year, maybe. I think I have not vacuumed it this year at all. It's fucking July. So I think I vacuumed it one time last year. Yeah, this carpet don't see the vacuum very often, but that's the purpose though. You know, this is the paint lab. The whole house, when I bought the house, I put new carpet everywhere except up here, because I knew I was gonna trash the fuck out of this shit, completely trash it, and leave it to the next homeowner to figure that shit out. When you come here and like, oh, this is a nice house. Why the fuck is the carpet got paint everywhere? This is my studio, bitch. And I keep thinking about like ripping this carpet up in here and just putting tile down, because tile is just easier to clean and it's easier to roll across if you're on a chair like this. But then I'm like, that shit sound like too much work. Do I really want to tile this floor? I don't think so. So we'll just keep the carpet. Yep. Listen, after I finish eating, I'm gonna vacuum. And then I really think that's the last thing, because everything else is squared away. And just vacuum real quick and work on my painting until my student gets here. If they come, you know, because life be life, and they may be like, oh, I'm sorry, something came up, I won't be able to make it today. You know, who knows? Who knows how this will go? But I am excited to have a student. I mean, I stream all the time, like every day, especially from the studio. Just hoping to inspire somebody, encourage, motivate, or maybe even like teach somebody something, you know, without really trying. Maybe somebody can just see me doing something and be like, oh, I never thought of that, or oh, I should try it like that, you know, without me really giving an explanation of what I'm doing, or you know, trying to explain in detail like exactly what I'm doing. So I just stream a lot in the hope that, you know, maybe it'll click with somebody. Yeah, but I haven't had like an in-person instructional session in a long time. Kind of nervous, but kind of excited too. You know, to actually sit down in the same room with somebody and give them materials and say, here, do this. You know, I haven't done this in ages. Well, not ages, since last year maybe. And the last couple of times I've done instructional workshops, it's been like workshops. It's been like several people. The last one I did was high school kids, and there was like 11 or 13 kids there, but it's only for a couple hours. You know, it's cool, but it's always different when you have like one-on-one with somebody. I don't know. I do well in both settings because I like being in a group setting so I can see everybody else's process and how they develop their art. But then I really just like, I like having a mentor or a teacher to myself. I really like that one-on-one shit. Like, even at work. My work day starts at 7 o'clock, and every morning our team has like a team meeting, like an unofficial team meeting, but we sit around and discuss what we got done yesterday, what are we going to get accomplished today, and what's on the schedule for the next upcoming days. And we do that normally every day. But like I say, my start time is at 7. I get to work at 6:30. Bronx, motherfucker made it first. About time, bro. You been slipping on your pimping for a while, bro. Everybody be beating you in this bitch now. But I get to work at 6:30 just so I can have one-on-one with my director. Yeah, our group powwows and our team meetings are good and informative, but sometimes, most of the time, what I need to talk about with my boss is just, I could talk to her directly about that shit. She can tell me what she need me to do, and then I'm fucking done and I'm out of there. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'd rather not sit in the group all the time, and I just want to convey what I need to convey and get the fuck on. Bronx, how you doing this morning? Made a little light breakfast. Some waffles and eggs. My shoulder feels kind of stiff this morning. I ain't do no stretches, but damn. Like all up in my rotator cuff or whatever the fuck that is. Just got that fucking, oh no. Just feels stiff in that bitch. Everything I know, I learned from video games and kung fu movies. Ain't that the damn truth? Grand Theft Auto and goddamn 5 Deadly Venoms, nigga. That's my whole life perspective right there, bitch. Everything I need to know I learned in kindergarten. I know my alphabet and I know my numbers. Art over everything. Alright, I think I ate too much. I think I ate too much breakfast because I got the itis. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Yep. Well, I go to sleep right now. You ever see somebody go to sleep while they still chewing their food? Yeah, man, that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my sister can go to sleep that fast, y'all. My sister, but it don't take her no time, but she can be to sleep in 30 seconds. She be like, oh, I feel kind of sleepy. Then you be talking to her, and next thing you know, like, yo, That bitch be sleep, bro. How you gonna sleep so fast? I just told you I was sleepy. Yeah, don't you gotta like drift off and like doze off and like get comfortable? Nah, this bitch like a goddamn light switch. She was like, I'm about to go to sleep. I'm like, how the fuck, bro? When I'm even if I'm real tired, super sleepy, it still take me like 5-10 minutes to like get comfortable in the fucking like just drift off. I wish I could go to sleep like that because I'd do that bitch right now. I'd take a power nap, do like 5 minutes, wake back up. I'm talking power nap. By the time you got a power nap, I'm just falling asleep good. Oh, that itis, boy, that itis about to get me this morning. He said I could fall asleep on a roller coaster. God damn, boy. I could fall asleep on a roller coaster. Shit. I don't know, but I don't think I have insomnia, but I don't really sleep more than 6 hours. Some people are like, oh, you need 7-8 hours of sleep. I rarely sleep more than 6 hours, and normally I only go off for like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day. I'm up for like 20 hours and sleep for like 4. And that's on a daily basis. Like, that's just kind of my routine. Well, no. I sleep in, because I kind of sleep in phases, I guess. I go to bed early, but then I be up in like the middle of the night sometimes. But then I get up super early as fuck too. What I need to do? I need to get this syrup and this dish up out of here, and I'm gonna vacuum this room real quick. Like I said, get that shit out the way. think I'm good on vacuuming this room for another year or so. Yeah. That should do it just fine. Alright, got that done. I said that's about as much as I'm gonna do. Take out some trash and vacuum. You know what I'm saying? Studio don't gotta be immaculately clean. Just gotta be workable. You know what I'm saying? And you work in the workspace. If the answer is yes, then you good. My workspace is workable. that is done. Thankfully. He said you got things to do. I don't. Netflix and video games have a pause button. I can stop this shit and come back to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no particular time frame or schedule that I'm working on. Well, it may not look like it to anyone else, but this is as clean as my studio has been in a long time, believe it or not. I know that's hard to believe for some people. What do you think about it, bro? Work on that tie. Finish filling in those little details on this tie. My main focus for the day. This tie is the main focus for today. Um, 8:30. So I got an hour and a half before my student should be here. So we'll just let it do what it do. If they come, fantastic. If they don't, no love lost. Glenda is her name. A nice old woman name, Glenda. And she should be here by, 10:30. All right, everything is stacked up on the tray. Yo, bold brew. Bold brew, cold brew. Always good when I roll through. That bold brew, that cold brew. It's always good when I roll through. Yeah? Yeah.
Of George's interview with the president. And joining me now is ABC News senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott. Rachel, glad to have you with us. Thanks for me. We saw a defiant president tonight, doubling down in many ways. How is this playing with all of your sources tonight?
Democrats were on edge, Juju, when they were watching this in real time. This is arguably one of the most important interviews that President Biden has done in his entirety of his political career. So a little bit of a mixed bag tonight, but what I'm hearing from Democrats is that no, the president didn't do as bad as he did necessarily on that debate stage, but that doesn't mean that things are going to take a sharp turn in the right direction for him, that the momentum is going to continue to grow. One thing that I heard from one Democrat right after that interview ended, they said the word denial. They said that they felt like the president was really in denial about the polls, about the direction that this race is headed in, and that though he cares about the stakes, he's not really coming to grips with what it means for him to stay in the race and continue on. Another thing that I heard today is that the common denominator, one Democrat told me, is that this has to do with age, and that is something that the president is not going to be able to change.
And you have been reporting extensively on what's going on behind the scenes on Capitol Hill. We have one prominent senator, Mark Warner, gathering colleagues to talk about.
So what we're gonna do next is the top. Nobody wants to stay in the chat in the live stream.
Hakeem Jeffries is going on what you called a listening tour.
Yeah, he's really in listening mode at this point, and trust me, he is getting an earful from House Democrats. They are not happy, and a lot of this also has to do with the fact.
Did anybody see me touch the computer at all? No. And it just fucking started playing by itself. How? Why? I don't know. Y'all can debate over all this. Y'all want Democrats. But this is the thing. This is day one. We all saw this shit. Well, most people saw this shit when he got elected, and we're like, why? Why are you electing this guy? He's old as fuck. Like, nah. He's good. He's the one. I'm telling you, yo. I was even a part of a black non-profit organization that is geared towards, you know, educating our community. And they were, when it was time to vote, they were like, oh, we got to go out and, you know, help people register to vote and make sure we vote Democrat so we can get Trump out of there. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And it's like, oh, you voted for Trump? I'm like, no, I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for Trump. I don't vote. I don't vote. And I'm not going to go try to persuade someone else to vote, especially vote Democrat. I'm not going to tell somebody to vote one way or the other. If you want to vote, go vote. I'm not going to say, oh, you should vote for this guy because this guy is bad. And they look, yo, when I told them, nah, I'm good, it was like, all right, so they just made it seem like, oh, well, of course, it's when you're on the board, you have to participate and you do what's on the agenda. And so going out and getting people signed up, that was part of our agenda for that time. And I'm like, and so they're like, all right, so on this day we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this, and you can do this and you can do this, and Travis, you can do this. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And yo, they was like, what? Like, they were just so shocked. They were like kind of shocked at that. I was like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Well, if you want to do, no. Anything that deals with the organization, I'm all in. I'm all in 100%, 110%. Political ideology and voting rights, and that shit don't got shit to do with our mission and our cause for this org. That's not our mission. That's not a part of our cause. I don't think I need to do that shit. And so I didn't. And you know, I with some people, if you want to engage in a conversation, because I'm not the most versed on politics and global policies. I'm not. You know, I think I have a very basic superficial understanding, and even if you have a basic superficial understanding, you can tell that shit is fucked up. Shit is fucked up. You know, and so like, and these people are smarter than me. College educated people, and that be getting me sometimes. Like, it be like the college educated people just seem like they don't got a lot of common sense. And now it's like y'all went so hard for this dude. The person who founded the organization, the CEO of the organization, Biden is from here. We're from his hometown, Scranton, supposedly his hometown. He left when he was 7. I left Philadelphia when I was like 7. And I moved to South Carolina. I say I'm from South Carolina because that's where I grew up, and that's where I developed my personality. Not when I was 7 years old in Philadelphia. That wasn't who I was, and Philadelphia didn't make me who I am. I'm not from there. But he claims to be from Scranton, even though he left Scranton when he was a little kid and never moved back. He grew up and lived in Delaware. He's from Delaware. You can say you're from here, but you're not from here. But anyway, he still claims this city, and he comes around now that he's been the president, And the head of the organization, since it is like one of the premier black organizations in the city, when he came around, you know, they felt like, yo, you should come holler at us. If you're all about diversity and equality and equity and doing right by us, you should come check us out and see what we're doing in your hometown. And so he came by, and they got a picture with him, like damn near cheek to cheek, not really touching, but it's so close. It's like, oh, damn, y'all you cheek to cheek with the president. That's impressive in itself. You know, whoever the president is, just the person in that position, you actually got like cheek to cheek with this dude. But that's how hard you was going for this motherfucker, telling everybody to vote for him when he came to town. You wanna take pictures with him and stuff. You still gonna vote for this motherfucker again? You still gonna put him back in there again? What has he accomplished in the 4 years that he was in there? And this that part right there. This is like, y'all be motherfucking jumping the gun on shit. Be jumping the gun. And now everybody, every damn Democrat, like, oh, we can't have him back in there. Y'all shouldn't put him in there the first time. Y'all should have let fucking Trump stay. Work this shit the fuck out. No new wars. Imagine where this country would have been in the past 4 years if we didn't send billions and billions and billions of dollars overseas. How much more prosperous would we be right now? And now their whole thing isn't, oh, who is the, if we don't run Biden, they're not saying who is the next best candidate to run the country. They're not looking for that. They're looking for the best person who can beat Trump. That's all they care about. Somebody who can beat Trump, not somebody who's good for the country. Why don't you focus on the most capable candidate? And if that candidate isn't able to beat Trump's popularity, too fucking bad. You're doing something wrong. And then nobody still don't want to consider Robert F. Kennedy. For president. I think he'll probably do a better job than both of them motherfuckers, honestly, because he's not as divisive as either one of them, and he's a little more. I don't think he is as controlled as Biden, and he's definitely way more polished than Trump is. Oh boy, let's see. All right, maybe. Turn this light on. All right. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So what do I need? I need to put my hair up higher so it's not getting in my motherfucking paint. And then I didn't see how the stock market closed yesterday. Should check that out. Nvidia been slipping for a couple weeks. They need to make some new big announcements, man. Come on, Nvidia, what you doing? What you doing? I need some dividends over here.
Oh, just how time-consuming it can be searching for royalty-free media. And when you do find some, they're always bad. We use Artlist on almost all of our videos. There's a massive library.
Here's all the news from the AI world that I think you'll find interesting from this week. Now, there wasn't a ton of major announcements this week. That's because of the 4th of July here in the United States. I believe a lot of companies sort of slow down on the announcements and big releases during holiday weeks because of travel and things like that, but that doesn't mean there's not a lot to talk about. A lot of really cool things still happen this week, starting with the fact that Gen 3 access was made publicly available. Now, I made a video earlier this week on Sunday before Gen 3 was released, and then on Monday, the day after that video came out, Gen 3 was made publicly available. Unfortunately, Gen 3 is not available if you're on like a free plan for Runway. You do have to be a pro user. But if you are a pro user of Runway, you can come over to Generate Videos. You'll see a big introducing Gen 3 Alpha. You can click Get Started and enter your prompt here. I've made a ton of videos with Gen 3 already. And again, I already made another video about it, so I'm not going to go into too much depth in this video about Gen 3 because that whole video will break down what you can expect. However, I did attempt to make a 4th of July themed video with the prompt bald eagle flying in front of an American flag with fireworks in the background. And well, this is what it gave me. Yeah, it's not always the best, but it is the best text-to-video generator we have right now. Compare that to something like Luma AI, where I was able to actually give the prompt to an image generator, upload my image into Luma, and I got something that's a little bit more impressive out of it. So text to video, Gen 3 is the best we've got today. Image to video, Luma, still the best in my opinion. You can't do image to video yet with Gen 3. 11 Labs got a couple updates this week as well. Last week we talked about their new Reader app. This week they've added some famous voices to the Reader app, like Judy Garland, James Dean, Burt Reynolds, and Sir Laurence Olivier. And before people start freaking out too much, they did get permission from the estates. They made deals. The estates are getting paid for them to be able to do this. So this was all done above board with permission. If you want to check out the app yourself, search out 11 Labs on your phone. Make sure that you're downloading the proper version that is created by 11 Labs Inc. A lot of people on the App Store are going to try to fool you into thinking their app is the actual 11 Labs app, but you want the one that actually says 11 Labs. Once you're in the app, you can actually see some of these new iconic voices that are in there. I think it's cool that they have them, but personally, due to the time that a lot of these people were alive and their voices were available, audio quality isn't my favorite. For example, here's what Judy Garland sounds like.
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a beautiful young girl who had become lost while traveling.
Burt Reynolds is probably the best sounding one just because he's a little bit more recent, a little more current.
For the good old American life, for the money, for the glory, and for the fun. Mostly for the money.
I could see listening to articles and PDFs and stuff with Burt Reynolds' voice. 11 Labs also released a new voice isolator feature where you can upload any audio with any sort of background noise and it will clean it up and make it sound really good. I particularly like this demo that they put online that shows how good it actually works. Check this out.
Need to remove background noise from your video? Use our new voice isolator model for crystal clear audio every time.
I mean, it's pretty impressive. If you're a fan of Suno and making music with Suno, they also released an app this week. It pretty much does the exact same thing as the web app, it just makes it easier to do it on your phone. At the moment, I believe it's only available on iOS, so if you're on Android, it's probably coming soon, but at the moment, you're kind of out of luck. When you search it out in the App Store, search out Suno. Once again, be careful. A lot of people will try to fool you into thinking their app is the official Suno app. There's one here that says Suno AI by Sharp Forks. It's not Suno, but there are quite a few apps that claim to be Suno, so make sure you are grabbing the right one. It has this little tie-dye psychedelic looking background, and the creator of the app is Suno Inc. So look at the creator, make sure it says Suno Inc., and that's the proper app. Once you're in Suno, it works pretty much like the web version. You've got your library of all the songs that you've created. You've got a create button. Your newest songs pop up towards the top. On the web app, your newest songs are at the bottom of the list. Once again, I was trying to generate some stuff for a 4th of July theme. This is what I came up with.
Idea for a meal prep food truck. Chef Wheels, Easy Meals. I like Busy Bites. Oh, Nourish to Go. That's cute. Let me just play with one other color. It felt easy. It felt kind of like I was playing and like just I was able to be creative. It wasn't hard to find out where things were, and it wasn't too busy. And it makes me feel like that also can push forward.
You get the idea. Meta released some new research this week around text to 3D images. It's called 3DGen, and you can apparently input a text prompt and output a fairly decent quality 3D image. This could speed up things like game development and creating assets for 3D videos and things like that. Here's the demo that they posted on X to kind of show off what it's capable of. We got a little like 3D pug here made out of metal, a dancing robot. It looks like they fed this into Mixamo or something to get that dance. And it looks to be pretty good. I mean, I can't really say if this looks a lot better than a lot of the text to 3D we've already seen or if it's about on par. And we don't have access to it yet. They just released the research. But once I can play with it, I'm definitely going to play with it and see what we can do with it. This week, this company called Kyotai, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right or not, but they're an open source AI research lab. They released a new voice model that looks to be trying to go head to head with GPT-4o's advanced voice. And not only is it available right now to try out, they're actually open sourcing it so that other companies could build off of it and use the underlying tech to build new tools from it. If you want to try it out, you can head over to moshi.chat. It says enter your email to join the queue. I don't know why it does that, because as soon as you click join queue, it just spits you right into it where you can use it.
Hello, how can I help you?
What's your name?
You're Moshi.
No, you're Moshi. Who made you?
I was created by Qtitime, a non-profit research lab based in Paris.
What things are you best at?
I'm the voice artificial intelligence, so I can understand and respond to human speech.
Are you good at math?
Yes, I can perform basic math calculations.
What's 700,532 times 7?
7,532 times 7 is 53,303.
That wasn't exactly what I asked, but still pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Now, not quite on par with what we saw out of GPT-4o. The voice is not very expressive yet. Still sounds very robotic. However, the responses you heard were in real time. I didn't edit this to make it seem like it was responding to me quicker than it actually was. It actually instantly responds, sometimes almost talking over you before you finish your sentence. And because this is open source, this is just the very sort of base level, the foundation of what we're going to see from this tech. As soon as other people start using this, integrating it with tools like 11 Labs with more realistic voices, integrating it with other large language models that are probably smarter than whatever it's powered by right now, this is going to actually get a lot better and be a decent alternative to GPT-4o with the advanced voice assistant. And speaking of open source, there's a new open source large language model that was just made available over on Hugging Face called Intern LM 2.5. What's interesting about this one is not only that it's open source, but it has a 1 million context window. Now, Gemini from Google now has a 2 million context window, which is probably overkill for most. Let's be honest, 1 million context is probably overkill for most. But now we have an open source 1 million context window that anybody can build with, and it's available right now for anybody to play around with over on Hugging Face. The weights are available right now, and most likely either now or pretty soon you'll be able to use it in a tool like LM Studio or Jan or ChatRTX. It's kind of like a bring your own model chat system. Speaking of bring your own model chat system, the Brave browser just made an update where you could bring your own model into the Brave browser. So Brave has their own AI similar to what you see from Microsoft Copilot built into the browser. They call it Leo AI. And now you can actually use custom models. They've already got Mixtral, Claude, and Llama, but now you can actually add a custom model in if that's something you're interested in. Perplexity also got an update this week with their Pro Search. The new Pro Search has multi-step reasoning, so it actually understands when a question requires planning, works through goals step by step, and synthesizes in-depth answers with greater efficiency. It can also analyze search results and take intelligent actions based on findings. It's also much better at math and programming because of the addition of Wolfram Alpha. If you're a free user of Perplexity, you can use Pro Search 5 times every 4 hours. And if you're a Perplexity Pro member, you get nearly unlimited daily access. So there's some limits, but you're probably not going to find them. I feel like OpenAI and ChatGPT really led the way in making chatbots and large language models popular, but if I'm being totally honest, I've become much more of a fan of Claude and Perplexity. I use Claude for most things, except for when I need to do research. Perplexity seems to be the best option right now. It looks like Apple is actually getting a board seat on OpenAI's board. It's going to be an observer role, so they won't have voting rights, but it's super interesting because obviously, Microsoft and Apple are like the 2 largest companies in the world, and they're kind of head-to-head competitors, and both companies are actually going to have board roles in OpenAI, so pretty fascinating. But when it comes to OpenAI, another week, another lawsuit. The Center for Investigative Reporting is suing OpenAI and Microsoft. Once again, claiming copyright infringement. OpenAI and Microsoft started vacuuming up our stories to make their product more powerful, but they never asked for permission or offered compensation, unlike other organizations that license our material. If you remember, recently OpenAI has been signing a ton of licensing deals. Associated Press, Axel Springer, Financial Times, News Corp, Vox Media, The Atlantic, Time. It makes me wonder if some of these lawsuits are just to try to get on the radar of OpenAI so that it can open discussions to get a licensing deal. At the end of the day, this is all about money for these companies. And I'm sure if OpenAI made them a licensing offer that they couldn't refuse, they would get on board with OpenAI pretty quickly. That's just speculation. Mustafa Suleyman, who, in my opinion, is usually pretty calculated with his words and a very, very smart person. He wrote the book called The Coming Wave, which is a great book on sort of where AI is now and where it's headed. But he made some statements that even I really, really can't get behind.
With respect to content that is already on the open web, the social contract of that content since the 90s has been that it is fair use. Anyone can copy it, recreate with it, reproduce with it. That has been freeware, if you like. That's been the understanding. There's a separate category where a website or a publisher or a news organization had explicitly said, do not scrape or crawl me for any other reason than indexing me so that other people can find that content. That's a gray area, and I think that's going to work its way through the court.
Yeah. Whatever your business needs, Vistaprint can print it. Like packaging from tapes to thank you cards, or merch from t-shirts to caps, even a logo that you can put on all that. Because with Vistaprint, the printabilities are endless.
Yeah, I don't know about that. If I put up content on the internet, on YouTube, on my personal blog, just because I didn't put like a specific robots.txt file telling not to scrape on this, I should just accept that these companies are allowed to use this content however they want? I don't know. I have a hard time getting behind that. I kind of understand what he's saying. If you're putting it on the internet, everybody can see it anyway, so what's the difference between them seeing it there or seeing it here? I feel like that's sort of the point he's trying to make. That doesn't completely negate copyright. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with Mustafa here? Oh, and by the way, if you absolutely don't want to be scraped and you don't want your content taken by AI, Cloudflare rolled out a solution this week. If you're on Cloudflare, which is a content delivery network that sort of lives between like your domain and your hosting, and it like caches a lot of the stuff on your website to make your website load faster. And I'm not the best person to be explaining this, but it's a service that sort of helps your site load better, helps with security on the site, helps with preventing more downtime on your site, things like that. Now they have a switch that you can flip on that makes it so these scrapers that are scraping for AI can't scrape your site anymore. And it's available to both free and paid users of Cloudflare. If you're worried about companies like Microsoft just taking your content and using it however you want, Cloudflare could be a good option for you, especially since they have free options. And speaking of using your content to train AI, last week Figma had their Config conference where they showed off all their AI features. This week, they put out an official statement to users that says the company needs to train models that better understand design concepts and patterns and Figma's internal formats and structure through Figma content. Apparently they are going to offer a way to opt out, but by default, apparently they'll just train on whatever designs and things you make inside of Figma. Figma also got into a little bit of hot water this week when it came out that the weather app that it was designing for people looked identical to Apple's weather app. The CEO of Figma did speak up and say that they were using off-the-shelf language models for their built-in AI, so it wasn't specifically trained on Apple's designs, but maybe the off-the-shelf AI they were using was trained on Apple's designs, and they've since paused this feature. So the ability to actually make this kind of stuff in Figma is not available right now while they fix these issues and make sure that it's not going to accidentally create designs that look exactly like other companies' designs. YouTube rolled out a new feature where if a YouTuber creates content that simulates what you look like or simulates your voice, you can actually request to have that taken down now. Before, it actually had to be like stolen content. Like if somebody took my videos and put them on their YouTube channel, I can force them to take it down. Or if they used my music or my IP, I can claim copyright on it and have it taken down. Well, now, if somebody just uses an AI version of your voice or an AI version of your face, you can request it to get taken down as well. Instagram also made a little bit of a tweak. A lot of people were having a bit of a fit about the fact that images that used any bit of AI at all, like if you used Photoshop, it would probably say made with AI on your image. And people were going, hey, this image wasn't made with AI. I just did some color correction that maybe might have used a teeny bit of AI, or I just erased a little thing in the background, and that might have used a little bit of AI. That doesn't mean my image was made with AI, it just means I did a tiny tweak to the image to make it look a little bit better. Well, they changed their wording, so now it no longer says made with AI, now it says AI info. You can click on it and see what's in the metadata. We also got word this week that a new version of Grok is coming out. Grok 2 is apparently arriving in August. This comes from Elon himself. He was replying to Beth Bezos on X, who said models training on each other's data is like a human centipede effect. Elon's reply was sadly quite true. It takes a lot of work to purge LLMs from the internet training data. Grok 2, which comes out in August, will be a giant improvement in this regard. There's also a rumor going around that Apple might partner with Google Gemini.
And so
30 chairs, non-squeak, 15 non-wobble.
What's wrong?
What's wrong? Where are we going to find all this stuff?
I already ordered it.
Oh, all of it.
Restaurant store for whatever your restaurant needs.
WWDC, they announced that they were partnering up with OpenAI to power some of its chat features. It's starting to sound like Gemini will also be an option if you don't want to use OpenAI's tech. Now, this article does say Apple could announce a Google Gemini deal this fall, so this is all still just rumor and speculation. WhatsApp appears to be getting a new feature based on some leaked screenshots. It looks to me very much like what Apple showed off in their WWDC keynote, where you can upload an image of yourself and it will generate sort of cartoon or alternate versions that look like you. And this appears to be a feature that they're going to roll out inside of WhatsApp, and I imagine if it's in WhatsApp, it's probably also going to be in Instagram and Messenger and all the other suite of tools that Meta has out there. And since I mentioned Meta, they're getting some competition with their Meta Ray-Bans, which personally I love. They're my daily wears for sunglasses. But there is a new company that is trying to make something very similar that looks very similar with little cameras on the side, and it will have an LLM. In fact, it's going to use ChatGPT 4.0 for their LLM inside of it, which, if I'm being quite honest, is still better than what you get with Llama 3, which is what's currently in the glasses that Meta has. And finally, this was super cool. I wanted to show this off. It's called Open Television. It lets you immersively operate a robot even if you're 3,000 miles away, just like the movie Avatar. So we can see somebody over here wearing an Apple Vision Pro, moving their hands around. They're over at MIT in Boston, and the robot itself is over here in UCSD, and what he's doing with his hands, the robot is actually doing on the other side of the country. I thought that was pretty cool. I want to dive more into this tech. I'm definitely going to do more videos on robotics and things like that in the future. Heck, I'm in San Diego. Maybe I can get a demo of this in person over at UCSD. But I just thought this tech was really cool. Wanted to share it as my final little exciting fun thing for this week. Again, 4th of July week, so not a ton of huge major announcements, but still plenty to talk about. Hopefully you feel more looped in on what's going on in the AI world and found some of this stuff cool, interesting, fascinating, disappointing, scary, whatever. All those emotions are valid. All I know is I love researching it, I love turning around and pointing it out to you, and I'm so grateful that you check out these videos and allow me to do this, because I'm having so much fun, and I really, really appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to check out futuretools.io, where I share all of the latest AI news and the coolest AI tools that I come across. Join the free newsletter if you haven't already. It's going to be focused on AI news, but also more emerging tech, not just AI. There's a lot of AI newsletters out there, so I'm going to start expanding it into a little bit more of other emerging tech outside of AI as well. You're going to want to see this. Really cool stuff coming out of that. Check it out at futuretools.io. And if you like videos like this, you want a weekly breakdown of the AI news, you want AI tutorials, you want to stay in the loop with emerging tech and where the future is heading, like this video and subscribe to this channel, and I'll make sure more stuff like this shows up in your YouTube feed. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. I really, really appreciate you. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Matt Wolf is the man, yo. Matt Wolf gonna keep you up to date. Matt Wolf gonna keep you up to date on what the fuck is going on in the world of AI and tech. Yo, got a few people in here. I see ya. How y'all doing this morning? Sushi, you still in here? What time is it? 9:30. Almost 9:30. So, once again, supposed to have a student here from 10:30ish. For 2 hours, so 12:30, which is like, this is my prime painting time. So I figured, let me get as much done as I can before the student arrives. Then I'm gonna have to get everything set up for them. This brush, it's a nice small brush, but there's like 2 bristles on it that are longer than the other ones, and so when I try to initially lay it down, if I don't lay down those first 2 bristles, they poke out the side, and this motherfucker's gonna make me, you're gonna make me take some scissors to you, bro. I'm gonna trim these bristles, because you're making it harder than it has to be for me right now, for no reason. For no reason, Mr. Bristles. Y'all just need to act right up in this piece. Because I will cut you. Look at me. Get a little trim. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never scared to get a little trim. You trim them right up. You know what I'm saying? I like getting a little trim too. You know what I mean? You know. I don't mind getting a little trim. If you know what I'm talking about. Okay. When my student comes, I'm gonna ask them. I'm like, yo, you wanna do this shit live on TV or nah? If you wanna do this shit live on TV, you know what I'm saying? I'll make sure my YouTubers don't laugh at you too hard or send weird comments. Which I know you guys won't. You guys actually be the best backup in here to help like motivate and encourage. Look, man, it ain't gotta be straight. It just gotta look straight. It just gotta look like it's straight. It ain't gotta be all the way perfect now. But just because it ain't gotta be all the way perfect, that don't give you the right to go just fuck it up either now. Goddamn. See, what you do is you try to make it perfect, knowing that you're not gonna make it perfect. Just try, and then when you get close enough, then you can just fall back and appreciate the beauty in the errors, the beauty in the flaws, the beauty in the imperfection. We're all perfectly imperfect. I mean, I'm technically I am perfect. I just fuck up on purpose so I don't make people around me feel bad by not being perfect. So I guess that's my imperfection, is I won't allow myself to always be perfect. You know, we all got our flaws. We all got flaws and shortcomings, you know what I'm saying? Mine is hating how perfect I am. Shit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta acknowledge that, you know? Within myself. That I too am not perfect because I'm perfect. You know? Life, man. Life is rough. Life can be rough, you know? Especially if you're not perfect. Alright. Something like that. Cause them little, that shit definitely not gonna be perfect. You know what I'm saying? That definitely not gonna be perfect. That's how I know I'm perfect. Cause I ain't gonna sit there and make it all crazy. But we got some designs on this tie. It's supposed to look like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I don't be letting people see the picture in the painting side by side. Yeah, I don't need to see both of these side by side. Cause this shit is just a reference. It looked good enough. I think it's close enough. I'm gonna tighten it up a little bit more, but not much. You know why? Cause from back here, that shit. Hey, I'm telling you, dog. From back here, it ain't gotta be straight, dog. It just gotta look straight. Cause from back here, that shit look wild. You get close, and you get real close. You be like, all right, it ain't perfect. But from back here, you know, it'll pass. It look good from my house. Yeah, it look good. It look good from where I'm standing. Right? Am I right or am I right? Come on now. Am I right or am I right? Right? It ain't gotta be straight. It just gotta look straight. Now I'm gonna take a nice little bathroom break. It ain't gotta be straight. It just gotta look straight. And now I'm about to take a little bathroom break, cause I'm drinking coffee in the AM. I'm drinking coffee, so I stay slim. And I'm drinking coffee in the AM. Let me go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'm drinking coffee. sorry that took longer than I thought it was gonna take. I had to do something. All right, what we doing? What we doing? Back to this goddamn tie. Back to the tie. Remember the tie that we first painted. Remember the tie, and it was all red, had some little white squares. When we first paint, do you remember the tie? It was all red. Do you remember the tie that we first painted? No? You don't remember the tie? Never mind. I'll leave it alone. Woo!
To the mic, it's time to ignite. Got the rhythm in my soul that shines so bright. From the city to the burbs, we unite tonight. Spitting truth, spreading love, taking flight like a kite. Life's a game, but I'm playing it wise. Eyes on the prize, I rise and I strive. Every verse, every line, gotta feel alive. Staying real, staying true, that's how I survive. We rap to the beat, we move to the flow. From the streets to the skies, let the vibes just grow. We rise, we grind, let the whole world know. It's a rap revolution, watch it steal the show. Got my crew by my side, yeah, we taking a stand. Słuchajcie, słuchajcie, bo teraz nadejdzie mój moment, by pokazać wam, co myślę o waszym negatywnym podejściu. Bo ciągle narzekacie, zamiast działać i próbować. Tylko patrzycie na to, co nie działa, a nie na to, co jest możliwe. Myślicie, że... From the bottom to the top, I climb like every rhyme I drop. In the city where the dreams never stop. Hustle hard, I grind around the clock. Stacking chips, no time for the flop. Raised in the struggle where the streets taught me tough. But I turned that pain into lyrical gold dust. Every verse, every line, a story I unfold in this concrete jungle. Watch my story told. I'm on a mission, I'm on the grind. Gotta shine bright, gotta claim what's mine. Through the pain and the strife, I elevate. Rising up, never hesitate. They tried to box me in, but I broke out the cage. Now I'm standing tall on this rap stage.
In the past, again, call it out. Through the noise, the silence, the endless doubt. Awake the minds and hearts to all shout. It's time for justice.
What's the name? Belmodotti. mask of poverty pulled tight over frowning faces. How we spin delicate webs catching faint stars. Floating in my cloud, right alone. Voices buzzing like static in my dome. Lines of puzzle pieces.
Bro, I'm listening to some of these different genre styles. This is called Future Chill Wave. Russian techno, hyper dance, samba, dirty south. What the fuck is samba, dirty south? Afrikaner folk. Psychedelic cybant. Doo-wop pop. Lo-fi cloud rap. Nah, there's a lot of different genres and subgenres in there.
The ultimate AI voiceover. Yep, like me. Go to artlist.io and get exclusive voices for your...
Quit, you know, he's quitting the rest. Is that right? Yep, I got him out of the race.
So what I want to say is it's the jet lag and also the cold.
One person I feel pretty sorry for in all this actually is Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary. Here she is anyway, just exhaustedly trying to come up with some combination of reasons that could justify that debate performance, presumably as we ultimately prepare the way for another candidate. Is it jet lag? Is it a cold? Is it dementia?
There's no question that international travel can be rigorous. I think the confusion is that he's still suffering from the effects of that nearly 2 weeks later. So can you articulate a little bit about, like, do you guys usually have accommodations for him after he does a trip, that he's going to have jet lag for that long a period of time?
We're in the autopsy of that performance. We're in the autopsy of Joe Biden's presidency. Either he runs and loses to Trump, or they put forward Kamala Harris, who presumably still loses to Trump, or they take some sort of radical Michelle Obama, Gavin Newsom step and presumably still lose to Trump in a sort of a fair and balanced bout, one might assume. Remember, this is the 4th of July. This is Independence Day. In our country, there are elections, but what we're really dealing with now, I think, are various sets of institutional systems trying to cling to power through authoritarianism, which they cannot overtly declare, so have to justify through crises. If there isn't a pandemic or a war, then Donald Trump is the crisis. They have to frame the election as saving democracy itself, but that narrative can't be sustained now that we've all seen Joe Biden in his natural environment that appears to be sort of weary senility. But spare a thought for Karine Jean-Pierre, who not long ago was just a little girl with a dream, who achieved that dream and just found that ultimately it's like cleaning up a cat litter tray filled with turds of dementia.
So can you, when you say 2 weeks later, what do you mean?
Well, the debate, he arrives back in the United States 12 or 13 days before the debate. So his explanation for a poor debate performance is jet lag.
So what I want to say is it's the jet lag and also the cold, right? It is the two things, and that occurred. And you all heard it in his voice when he did the debate, right? And it is not even something that we shared ahead of time. You heard it in his voice and we confirmed it. And I think that's important to note as well. Like, it is the jet lag and the cold.
Jet lag and the cold. It's jet lag squared. It's cold plus. For a moment, zoom back and reflect on the level of excellence that you would really require from a person who occupies the position of what amounts to world king. Are you able to fulfill that role if you are tired or if you have caught a virus in a world where viruses seem increasingly likely? The answer has to be yes. Or indeed, maybe consider whether or not you want a role called world king, or you might want to look at decentralizing power wherever possible, having some nominal head of the United States of America, federalizing wherever possible, empowering governors and states and towns and cities and boroughs and principalities as much as possible, rather than continuing to prop up a system that's expiring before our very eyes. Look at that sort of gerrymandering and maneuvering of information as compared to the casual, off-the-cuff, out the back of a golf buggy, lackadaisical, spitting truths and disses and bars quite lazily there with the clubs on his back, Donald Trump, while being secretly filmed by a member, presumably of one of his own golf clubs. Look at the difference between the management of information here we're seeing from the official White House press secretary. It's a cold versus plus jet lag versus Donald Trump just going, he's out, he's over, he's a pile of crap.
You gave me so much. How did I do with the debate the other night?
Oh, amazing.
That old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just quit, you know. He's quitting the race. Is that right? Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic. It's so mean. She's so fucking bad. So I just can't imagine. But can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man, a very tough guy. And they feed him, they go, he can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting. Okay? Yeah. Just keep knocking him out.
Are we going just to continue playing golf quite casual and relaxed in this while the Democrat Party apparently collapses into total panic, spiraling and decline as their whole narrative, as their whole strategy disappears down the toilet? If indeed it is to be Kamala Harris, we better have a look at her. We better look at how she campaigned when she too was pursuing the nomination as president. We better look at what her skills are when she's out interacting in public, potentially the next president of the United States of America. How does she communicate when unbridled and free?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
That's right, we exist in the context of all right. Okay, again, no, it's difficult. I don't understand that one either. But nevertheless, it looks like she is being maneuvered into a position of unimaginable power. Biden is facing, it says here in the legacy media, increasing pressure to withdraw his candidacy following the debate performance, and it's likely to be Kamala Harris. A CNN poll published Tuesday found that Harris was within striking distance of Trump. She could strike at him in a hypothetical matchup, 47% supporting the former president and 45% supporting Harris. So it may yet become real. Glenn Greenwald reminds us that in 2020 she called Biden a racist, and the New York Times, the legacy media that's now backing her, didn't like her. I do remember that moment when she called Biden a racist, and I thought, oh yeah, she's kind of a plucky individual, this is interesting. But when you see her speak extensively, there are a lot of peculiar slogans and poems.
What can be unburdened by what has been?
Here's Donald Trump talking with Tucker a little while ago on the subject of Kamala Harris, saying that she speaks in rhymes a lot of the time.
She has some bad moments. Her moments are almost as bad as his. I think his are worse, actually.
Yeah.
But,
she seems pretty senile, too.
She speaks in rhyme. And, it's weird. It's weird. But she has bad moments. And
in rhyme?
What do you? Well, the way she talks, the bus will go here, and then the bus will go there, because that's what buses do. And it's weird. The whole thing is weird. This is not a president of the United States future.
Maybe we created a monster. Maybe we created conditions that were unreasonable. What do you want from a leader? Do you want someone that's mind is based in logistics and operations? What do you expect from the government? What do you expect from a president? Is it reasonable anymore to expect them all to have some Clinton-esque trick like a saxophone, or to be good at keeping a soccer ball up like Tony Blair, or to be affable and charming? What is a president now? Are they post-Reagan all essentially actors? What do you expect from a leader? Do you want dedicated and devout public servants, or do you want a showman? What is it? Is it just a symbol now? Do you think anyone's really capable of holding up the freight of the level of world power that the United States currently wields? Do you think that any of the individuals we're discussing now are capable of tackling the peculiar problems of emerging financial models that will oppose the dollar in the process of de-dollarization? Do you think there is a person that is available to us that can help with the escalating conflict between Ukraine and Russia, events in the Middle East, opposition increasing against China? Who is it? Who is it? Which individual human being? Which human being can tackle a problem of that magnitude? Hey, this is exciting. We've got a great partner today. It's Rumble. But beyond Rumble, it's Rumble's latest venture. Let me ask you first, are you a Sleepy Joe type character with zero cognitive performance, struggling to muster focus and brain power for basic things like running the United States of America? You've got to stop drinking woke liberal coffee that hates you and your way of life, and start your day by drinking Rumble's very own 1775 coffee. This is going to be the best tasting coffee you've ever had. Seriously good, ethically sourced from a family farm in the high altitude mountains of Bolivia. Not in the Bolivian lowlands run not by a family but by a single man still living with a pet. No! Instead of waking up and drinking your big corporation owned woke ideology coffee that's probably making you sick from the pesticides it's sprayed with, try Rumble's 1775 revolutionary coffee. Support freedom of speech. Build a parallel economy that actually values you and loves you. My favourite? It's dark, of course. I've always found the lure of the dark irresistible. I'm sorry, how can I stay mad at you, but you're just going to have to wait over there for a little while. Level up your morning routine with a 1775 coffee. Sleep all night knowing your hard-earned dollary dues are going towards supporting freedom-loving creators like me on Rumble. Visit 1775coffee.com now. Pick up your first bag. Use the code BRAND to save 10% on your first order. Oh, come on. Okay, back to the content. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.
Is a conversation with John Mearsheimer, a professor at University of Chicago and one of the most influential and controversial thinkers in the world. He teaches, speaks, and writes about the nature of power and war on the global stage, in history and today. Please allow me to say, once again, my hope for this little journey I'm on. I will speak to everyone on all sides, with compassion, with empathy, and with backbone. I will speak with Vladimir Putin and with Volodymyr Zelensky, with Russians and with Ukrainians, with Israelis and with Palestinians, with everyone. My goal is to do whatever small part I can to decrease the amount of suffering in the world by trying to reveal our common humanity. That in the end, truth and love wins. I will get attacked for being naive, for being a shill, for being weak. I am none of those things. But I do make mistakes, and I will get better. I love you all.
I love you too, Lex Friedman.
Podcast. To support it, please check out our sponsors in the description. And now, dear friends, here's John Mearsheimer.
Now Lex is one of the dudes, like, he gets mentioned by other really big people now. He's like, yeah, because, you know, I was on Lex Friedman.
Tuning plugin for vocals. Here's why. If you're so in love, then why? Reason number one, I can record myself or artists with ultra low latency, which is a complete game.
All right, let me take a quick smoke break. Smoking. Because it's almost time for that student to be here. They haven't called yet. Let me make sure I'm not missing any phone calls.
And then reason number two, I also love how simple it is to use this plugin. I simply just select one key I want.
Yeah, so I didn't miss a phone call yet, but like I said, they were supposed to be here 10:30. It's right at 10 o'clock now. So I think I'll have one more quick smoke break and then put all my smoke stuff away as to not offend anybody. I don't know, like I said, exactly what time they're going to get here. And on top of that, I'm not sure if they're going to want to be live on camera while they attempt to paint. So I'll probably be ending the stream as soon as I get word from them. And like I said, my main thing today was just focusing on that tie. So I got the knot, like the top part of the tie is detailed for the most part. Probably go back and try to square up like just a few lines in there, not many of them. And then yeah, just detail the bottom of the tie. And then we're gonna start just add a few more details to his hair. And this piece is done. Like I say, I absolutely plan on finishing this by tomorrow, if not today. If I don't finish it today, I will put my signature on this thing tomorrow, so that Monday I can have a complete piece. I can show them the final picture, and I'll pick up my payment next week, and then I'll let it dry. I'll varnish it, and then I'll pass it off next weekend if they want to get it. Or if they don't want it next weekend, I'll give it off next Monday. So we'll just see how this shit really goes. And I just see y'all is the realest hoes. Ho, ho, oh no. Put it in your nose like Castro. Fuck a Canadian and let it go. That's them right there. Hello?
Hey, Travis.
Yes.
It's Glenda Nork.
Hey, Glenda.
What did you tell me your address is?
557 South Franklin.
South Franklin.
Yes. Oh, I forgot to mention too. Your GPS, it'll tell you to turn on Elizabeth and turn on Race Street and all this. It tries to put you in my backyard for some reason. But I live on Franklin Street.
I am on Franklin Street.
Okay.
It's like a white brick on the front and blue trim on the door.
Yes, with a white car in the driveway, you can pull right in front of that white car, and I'll come right down.
Okay, should I stay in the front at the front door?
Yes, I'm coming. Here I come now.
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. I am out of here. I'll catch you guys a little bit later.